See, this question has indirect data about pressure. Okay, so piston load, we are going to find piston load FL equal to P into A for yeah. So that pressure is indirectly given to you as a thermodynamic relationship. So you have to find out the pressure from this thermodynamic relationship PV diagram. Then use that pressure to find load on the piston. Okay, so we will go through the question now. The vertical, please note this vertical. Okay, vertical means the weight will come into the formula. Piston effort. Okay, double acting steam engine has a cylinder diameter 240. Capital D is 240. Length of stroke capital L is 360. Connecting rod length is small L is 0.6 meter. Crank rotates N is 300 RPM. The same and the mass of the reciprocating parts is 160 kilogram MR. Steam is admitted at a pressure of 8 bar gauge. So gauge pressure is 8. Okay, and the cutoff takes place at 1/3 of the stroke. Okay, so steam is in steam input is given until 1/3 of the return stroke 180/3. Okay, the expansion of steam is hyperbolic. This term you have to understand. If I say hyperbolic, it means it is a PV equal to constant. It is a isothermal process. Okay, keep that in mind. This you have to remember. The hyperbolic curvature of the PV diagram means it is a isothermal process. PV equal to constant. Okay, last time we saw PV for gamma equal to constant. It was a polytropic. Hyperbolic curve means PV equal to constant. Isothermal process. The exhaust of steam takes place at a pressure of minus 0.75 bar gauge. It is below atmospheric, minus 0.75 bar gauge. Frictional resistance. So this is the first problem with friction. So far in all the 8 problems you have done, friction was not there. So friction is always minus. It always opposes your motion. Equivalent to force 500 Newton. Determine the turning moment on the crankshaft when the piston is 75 degrees from the top dead center. Neglect the effect of clearance and assume an atmospheric pressure of 1.03 bar. So you have to write all these pressures in terms of Pascal, Newton per meter square. 1 bar is equal to 1 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Okay, that is a standard conversion. Remember that. So look into this PV diagram. So A, B, C, D. So this C dash represents your theta equal to 75 degree position. C dash. So from B to C, this is a power stroke. So in the power stroke, at your position theta equal to 75 degree, you are going to find out the turning moment of the crankshaft. Okay, this turning moment keeps varying with theta. So at 75, you have to find the turning moment. Okay. So let's list down the given data. Diameter is 240.24, L is 360, 0.36. So that is capital L, stroke length. So half of stroke length is crank radius. So you have to find L by 2. This is 0.18 meter. Connecting rod length is 0.6 meter. 300 RPM N. So find 2 pi N by 60, which is 31.42 radians per second. Mass of the reciprocating parts 160 kilogram. So PA, these alphabets are from the PV diagram. Okay. So A is 8 bar injection pressure, steam injection pressure at the beginning of the power stroke. Steam is injected at 8 bar gauge pressure. So I'm going to convert it into absolute pressure. Since he has specifically mentioned atmospheric pressure in the question, you are converting into absolute pressure. Otherwise, you don't have to do. Okay. 8 plus 1.03. At gauge pressure is 8. So atmospheric pressure is mentioned at the last end of the question. So add it. So it becomes 9.03 bar. What is this 9.03 bar? Absolute inlet pressure of steam. Absolute inlet pressure of steam into the engine. Okay. So 903 into 10 power 3. So 9.03 into, instead of bar, I am going to write into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Okay. So that is nothing but 903 into, you can write anyway. Both are correct. Newton per meter square. Okay. And it is given that it is also equal to pressure at B. For that, you have to look at the PV diagram. So pressure at A equal to pressure at B. Look at the diagram. So here, the steam injection takes place at constant pressure for 1/3 of the stroke. Theta. Okay, volume increase. As piston moves out, your cylinder volume is going to increase, and the reduction in pressure due to the increase in volume in this zone is neglected, or theoretically it is considered that no change in pressure occurs because of the incoming steam pressure. The loss of pressure is due to increase in volume is compensated. Okay, it is steam inlet is quasi-static. No change in the system is going to occur. I believe you are understanding my thermodynamics. I am not an expert in thermodynamics. Okay. So steam input pressure. So important point in this P1 or PA is same as P2 or PB. It is a constant horizontal line with P in the y-axis. Okay, so PA I have found out, which is also equal to PB, which is 903 into 10 power 3 or 9.03 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Now exhaust pressure is given as minus 0.75 below atmospheric. Add the atmospheric pressure to that, it becomes 0.28 bar, which is 28 into 10 power 3 Newton per meter square. Okay, so frictional force 500 Newton, theta is 75. These are the given data. So the pressure volume diagram for the steam engine, neglecting the clearance is shown. You have to neglect the clearance. It is a condition represented in the question itself. Okay. So in the PV diagram, how to interpret the PV diagram? AB represents steam inlet. Okay, steam is given in from A to B. BC represents expansion. So this is the power stroke expansion from B to C. And DE represents exhaust. So D to E is your exhaust stroke. Exhaust means for a double acting cylinder, this side power stroke. Okay, steam is cut off at point B. The input of steam is stopped here. After this, the steam within the cylinder is doing the work. No new steam is sent in. So these are the important points you have to consider in the PV diagram. Okay. So some thermodynamic calculations are there. First, find the swept volume of the cylinder. It's very simple. Bore diameter into stroke length pi by 4 d square L. Okay. Diameter is 0.24. Length is 0.36. So swept volume is pi by 4 d square L. So it comes around 0.0163 meter cube. Swept volume. Okay. So clearance volume is neglected in this problem. Last problem we have considered clearance volume yesterday. Okay. Since admission of steam is cut off at 1/3 of the stroke, volume at steam cutoff is 1/3 of this volume, correct? So 1/3 of the stroke we are stopping this steam inlet, and what is the volume at that point? So it is 1/3 of swept volume, because they have told 1/3 of stroke. Okay, so that is 0.00543 meter cube, right? So now find the obliquity ratio L by R. L is 0.6, R is 0.18. So therefore L by R is 3.33. It has no unit. It is a dimensionless number. Okay. So when the crank position is 75 degree from the top dead center, the displacement of the piston marked by the point C dash on the PV diagram is given by first find the value of X. What is X? Piston displacement. For a given value of theta, what is the length to which the piston has moved? This formula I have taken from the first derivation, velocity of the piston derivation. This expression was derived first, then this X was differentiated with respect to time to find the expression of velocity of the piston. That formula I am taking here, displacement of the piston formula. So I am going to put theta equal to 75 degree into this. With that I will find out the value of X. What is X? The distance up to which a piston has traveled when my crank angle is 75 degree. So let us say this theta is 75 degree. At that point, what is the value of this X? If I know this X, then I can find out the volume pi by 4 d square into X. If you put this volume, you can find what is the value of the volume available above the piston when your piston has moved by, when your crank has rotated 75 degree. So that is what I am trying to find out. Okay. So put R is equal to 0.18, theta N 3.33, theta 75. Put everything into this equation. Try to do this value. Try to calculate this 0.18 into. Just look above what is that, and so what are the numbers I have substituted. R is 0.18. In place of theta, I have put 75 degree. Here also theta 75 degree. So N I have put 3.33. Okay. So try to solve this. Please sit with your calculator when you are coming to the class. You may not be able to do it very fast, but please do it. Before, if not before I gave the answer, at least after it, you check my answer whether you are getting the same answer. 0.1586 meter. Okay. So when the crank position is 75 degree from the top dead center, the displacement of the piston is 0.1586. Okay. So again, I will take 2 minutes to tell you. The cylinder is like this. So sorry, it's a vertical cylinder, right? So the cylinder is like this. My piston is like here, somewhere here. Okay. And the crank rotation, this is 75 degree. what is the value of this length? This is x. This is what you have found out now using this relationship. So it is 0.156, that is 158.6 millimeter, this distance. So now with this length I can find out the volume, correct? Pi by 4 d square into x, 0.1586. If I know that volume, then I can calculate the pressure using the isothermal relationship. With that pressure I can find load on the piston. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, so v c dash, c dash is nothing but the point on the PV diagram where theta is 75. Okay, so v c dash equal to vs into x by l. You can do like this, or you can do pi by 4 d square into x. Both are correct. I am finding a ratio. How much ratio? X by L. Out of total stroke length, I have moved up to a distance of x. So what is that ratio? Multiply the ratio with stroke volume. Swept volume, we will get the answer. So 0.0163 swept volume. X is 0.1586. So therefore, this volume comes on 0.0072. I hope you understand this. Out of a total stroke length of let us say 360 millimeter, I have moved 158 millimeter. So I'm going to find out 158 by 360, some ratio, some 50%. Multiply that 50% with the swept volume, we will get the C dash volume. Okay. Okay, fine. So now since the expansion is hyperbolic, PV equal to constant, therefore VB PB equal to VC dash PC dash. What is this B? P is the point where you stop the pressure input of steam. Okay. And C dash is my point where theta is 75 degree. Let's go back to the PV diagram. You will understand. Look at the PV diagram. Where is B? Where is? So this point PV equal to constant. This also PV equal to constant at this point also. Okay. So P into V, P at point, pressure at point P into volume at point P equal to pressure at point C dash and volume at point C dash. Why C dash? C dash is a point where theta equal to 75. I want to find out the steam pressure when my piston has moved to a distance of x where theta is 75. At that point I am going to find out the value of pressure. Why I am finding out? Then only I can calculate the value of a load on the piston at when theta is 75. How is it? How you can find out the load? Only when you know the pressure exactly inside the cylinder when theta is 75. Then only using that pressure you can find PA, P1, A1 load on the piston. Okay, so that's why I am finding this out. So that is volume I have found out. Now I am going to use the isothermal relationship, PV equal to constant. Pressure at B into volume at B equal to pressure at C dash into volume at C dash. So volume of B, so 1/3 of the volume, this you have calculated above. Okay, in the last slide, 0.00543, 1/3 of swept volume. Okay. Pressure at point B is 903 into 10^3. Volume at point C, just now we have calculated above 0.0072. Using all these three, you can find out now the pressure at C dash. Okay. Calculate pressure at C dash. So pressure at C dash 0.00. So listen carefully. Volume of B is this. Pressure at B is 903 into 10^3. Steam input pressure. So volume of C dash now you calculate 0.0072. This one you just cross multiply this, send to the denominator. Solve this fraction to find out the pressure at point C dash. It comes around 681 into 10^3 Newton per meter square. Okay. So the pressure has reduced from 903 to 681. Okay. So due to expansion, piston is moving, so volume increases, so naturally the pressure decreases. Okay. So it has come down from 903 to 681 pressure. So with this pressure, difference in pressure on two sides of the piston. So you have to subtract this pressure now you have found out. Subtract the exhaust pressure from this. Okay. Both are in absolute. 681 into 10^3. Exhaust pressure is 28 into 10^3. Subtract this. We get the effective working pressure is 653 into 10^3. Okay. Now this is my value of pressure. Now with this I can proceed. Therefore, difference in pressure between the two sides 653 into 10^3. With that I am going to calculate this. Since connecting rod area is not mentioned here, if it is mentioned, what you have to do? P1 A1 minus P2 A1 minus A. That A small a is not given here. Connecting rod area is not given. So P1 minus P2 into A, general formula. So P1 A1 minus P2 A2, A1 equal to A2, therefore P1 minus P2 equal to A. So FL equal to pressure into area. Pressure is 653, effective pressure. This P is nothing but P1 minus P2. Okay, what is the real formula for FL? P1 A1 P2 A minus P2 A2. So since A1 equal to A2, connecting node area not mentioned, P1 minus P2 into A. This P1 minus P2 is 653. 681 minus 28, 653. P1 minus P2. Area of the cross section of the cylinder. So bore diameter is 0.24. Do a pi by 4 d square. It is 0.0452. So now P1 A1. Load on the piston P1 into A1. So 29,545 Newton. Okay. So that is my FL. So next is my inertia force. So load on the piston is 29,545. This is inertia force, MR, AR, mass of the reciprocating parts, omega square, R cos theta given data. So mass of it is 160 kilogram, omega is 31.42, radius is 0.18, theta is 75 degree, N is 3.33. Put all the numbers into this formula. Okay. And try to calculate the value of inertia force. So I'll wait for 1 minute. Try to do this in your calculator. So the answer is minus 36 Newton. Remember, you have to carry on this inertia force along with its symbol into the general formula for finding piston effort. So you're getting a minus symbol, minus 36 Newton. Okay. So for general formula for piston effort, there is a default minus here, and this minus 36 along with the minus you have to put the value here. Please remember that inertia. And the theta is 75. So for a vertical engine, 0 to 180 piston moves downwards, 180 to 360 it goes upwards. So W component plus for downward motion, minus for upward motion. So here plus because theta is 75. Piston is moving downwards, gravity helps you. So WR is plus. So friction is given here for the first time. Whatever may be the piston motion direction, friction always tries to stop it. It is never plus, it is always minus. Okay, so therefore minus FR. So I've mentioned here, FL is net load on the piston, FI inertia force, WR is weight of the reciprocating parts, FR is frictional resistance. So we have already found out load on the piston is 29,545. This is load due to the steam pressure. Okay. Next, inertia force minus 36. Don't forget the minus symbol. So frictional resistance 500 Newton. Weight of the reciprocating parts, mass into gravity 160 into 9.81, 156 9.6. Okay. So put everything into the above formula. So in place of FL, I am putting 2945. In place of FI, with the default minus symbol outside, with the minus symbol, I am substituting inside the bracket minus 36. So WR is 1569.6. Friction always minus 500. So the effective answer is 30,651 Newton is the piston effort. Okay. So first, this is a prerequisite data. This is not actually as what is asked in the question. You are going to find out turning moment on the crankshaft when theta is 75. That is the question. So for what is the formula of turning moment? If you look into the formula of turning moment, you will understand why I am finding FP is required to find the torque. So that is why I am finding FP. Next, sin phi equal to sin theta when find the value of phi, connecting rod inclination. Okay. So sin 75 by 3.33, 29. Do a sin inverse, you will get the value of phi, 0.29. Sin inverse of 0.29, which is 16.86 degree. Okay. So now I am going to find out the torque on the crankshaft. Formula for turning moment, Fp sin theta plus phi by cos phi into radius. Don't forget that into radius. So this entire thing is nothing but the formula of Ft. Okay. What is the formula of torque? Ft into R. Okay. Ft is crank pin effort. Crank pin effort multiplied by R is torque. So directly I am substituting. I am not finding Ft separately. I am putting it into the integrally into this formula itself. Ft sin theta plus phi by cos phi into R. Substitute all the numbers. Fp is 30,651. Theta is 75. Phi is 16.86. R is 0.18. So put all the numbers into the above formula. 3651 sin 75 plus 16.86 by cos 16.86 into 0.18. Okay. So what are all these things? FP is 3651, theta is 75, phi is 16.86. Again, the denominator phi is 16.86. Radius is 0.18. So you try to solve this. I'll wait 1 minute. Try to solve this in a calculator. So the answer is 5762 Newton meter. The torque unit is Newton meter. Okay, this is a FT, crank pin effort, force. This is Newton. This has a unit of meter, radius. So the unit of torque is Newton meter. Don't forget to write the Newton meter unit. So that is the only answer required. Only one question is asked. Find the turning moment on the crankshaft when theta is 75. So that completes the problem. That's only one. No need to sum up the result. So the answer, final answer for the problem is the turning moment on the crankshaft when theta is 75 degrees, 5762 Newton meter. Okay, that completes the problem. Okay. So this is your example problem 15.14. In Kurmi,